Public service announcement.
Invasive species are organisms that are not native to a particular area. They can cause great environmental harm to the new area. Invasive species are almost always spread by human activity. The increase of things such as tourism and trade have meant people and goods can move all over the planet, and they often take invasive species with them, accidentally or intentionally. Invasive species are capable of causing extinctions of native plants and animals to the area, reducing biodiversity, competing with native organisms for limited resources, and altering habitats. It is important to raise awareness about invasive species because they can severely impact native species and ecosystems. They often outcompete and prey upon native species, which will ultimately reduce biodiversity and alter ecosystem food web.
One type of invasive species is kudzu. Kudzu is a group of climbing vines that latches onto trees and coil all the way to the top. Kudzu is native to Japan and southeastern China. It was first introduced to the United States in 1876. Kudzu threatens the southeastern states of the U.S. Kudzu is so invasive that it grows 1 foot per day and 60 feet per season. The largest growth of kudzu is over 7.4 million acres long. That's 10 times bigger than the state of Rhode Island. And even though this is a plant species, it doesn't produce a lot of oxygen. It actually produces a chemical called isoprene that is harmful to humans when it interacts with the nitrogen in the air. Kudzu's aggressive characteristics result in a number of ecological impacts, including shading out native species in forest understories, altering soil chemistry by fixing nitrogen and invading soils, and decreasing native biodiversity.
Honeybees are a well-known example of an invasive species. The western honeybee was originally native to Europe and brought over to the Americas by boat in the 17th century. There is a common misconception that the western honeybee needs to be saved because without them there would be no pollinators. The niche of pollination in the Americas was already filled by over 4,000 different species of animals. While honeybees are pollinators, the ecosystem is in no way dependent on them. In fact, honeybees are actually cause more harm than good. Diseases that start in the honeybee populations quickly spread to other pollinators. Honeybees have no natural predators, meaning there are no organisms to keep their population in check. On top of that, because the honey that the bees make is in relatively high demand, they are protected. The reality of honeybees is this: they are in no way vital to our ecosystem in any way, shape, or form. Their niche could be completed by other bees, butterflies, and even small birds. The western honeybee is a protective invasive species, but an invasive species nonetheless.
The Argentine tegu is a South American species of lizard that is now an invasive species in the southeast. Invading Florida, notorious for its invasive species, it now has been sighted in Georgia. With some reports in Toombs County, Tatnall County, and even in the main city, these lizards can grow and continue to grow and expand. They have also been spotted in South Carolina, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. This is not good, because they can threaten native species populations by eating their eggs and creating more competition for food. With these large-sized lizards in the southeast, they've created problems by eating alligator eggs and potentially gopher tortoise eggs. Tegus are known for their adaptability of being able to cope in colder climates. It is important because our local environment and native inhabitants are at risk. They're here due to the pet trade. They've either escaped or have been released. Solutions can be to mandate microchipping and licenses for those owning these animals. U.S. ARC is already trying to put this into effect. That way, those that aren't pets can be moved or given homes, and those pets that do escape can be tracked and brought back home. This way, they won't have a detrimental effect on the environment.
In order for us to stop the problem of invasive species, we need your help. First, remember that almost all problems of invasive species are started by us humans. In order to stop this, we need to stop moving living organisms from one area to another area. This includes cleaning your boat between rides and not releasing pets and foreign animals into the wild. And also not planting plants in other places. For some species, obtaining a license can be incorporated to own these animals. Spreading the word about how dangerous invasive species are to different environments can also help against the spread of invasive species. Always remember,
invaders are not our neighbors.